where fun meets fright, where every experience transports you to a world of fun. Play 18 holes of blacklight mini-golf in ancient Egypt, a haunted house, and beyond the grave. Step inside our virtual reality arena, where you take control of video games and virtual worlds. Battle robots, shoot zombies, and compete against your friends. Throw your next birthday with our VIP party pack. Our party pros are ready to entertain you with a fright fest you'll never forget. Perfect for an action-packed date night full of flirty fun. Our state-of-the-art arcade has the latest games with the coolest prizes. Be sure to feast on some tasty morsels in the Graveyard Grill. So come on, bring your ghoulish gang over to Scary Strokes, where every experience matters. Welcome to Scary Strokes!
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rumble here this afternoon with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. It is championship night here this afternoon. These drivers ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here this evening for our Championship 4 battle. The championship on the line. Who will come home as our inaugural season champion here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series? His drivers ready to go to battle. They're ready to duke it out here in this one. Currently quickest in this qualifying session, it is Sean Jensick. Jensick currently the fastest driver out there on the racetrack here in the qualifying. William McKellar currently in second. Greg O'Berry, John McNeil, Christopher DeWald, and Christian Delgado are top 6 here on the racetrack, ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here this afternoon for what's going to be a very exciting championship race. This is going to be a little bit wild. It's going to be a little bit crazy, but we're going to have a ton of fun here this afternoon. Is Sean Jensick, who is starting in that pole position. He is one of our championship 4 here this afternoon. Same with Willie McKellar, Greg O'Berry, and Christian Delgado. The only drivers out there on the racetrack that are not a part of our championship 4 battle is the 48 of John McNeil and the 82 of Christopher DeWald. As we'll get these drivers out there onto the racetrack, they get ready to go to battle here this evening. We'll get ready to duke it out here in this one. This is going to be a ton of fun. This is going to be a great show and a great battle right down to the checkered flag here this evening. As we get ready to duke it out, as Butt Crack Motorsports says best of luck to the final 4 drivers, Jensick, McKellar, O'Berry, and Delgado. Yes, Sirski, gonna be a crazy run, gonna be a great race here this afternoon. We'll have to wait and see how this one all plays out, as we have 150 laps of racing action here this afternoon. We got 6 drivers getting ready to go to battle for that 150 lap season finale. Who will end up with this championship? Who will put themselves into a position to be our one and only NASCAR Cup Series champion here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series? As quickly down through corner 3 and out of corner number 4, Sean Jensick in the Anything EC Sparkle and Shine number 19 ride will see that green flag fly. He quickly puts that car into top gear and starts to pull away from the rest of the field, taking the dog leg down the back straightaway front straightaway into corner number 1. Nice and easy down and out of corner number 2, as it is nice and warm, it's slick, it's hot, it's going to be very, very racy here all evening long for these drivers. And Sean Jensick out in front, though. Jensick will lead lap number 1 here on championship night. So he's looking to try to keep this 19 ride at the front of the field. He wants to be that reflection of perfection. He wants to lead every single lap and pick up the championship here this year. But right there behind him, Greg O'Berry. I'm pretty sure we saw O'Berry pick up the win here in the springtime. A very fast 71 ride the Liberty University machine. They're in position number 2, and he's on a move trying to hunt down our race leader. William McKellar, they're in position number 3, and the Fallout New Vegas, the Robco machine, they're in position number 3. He's another one of our championship contenders, and right there in position number 4 is Christian Delgado. The beautiful Sim Motion Majors Garage number 13 ride, they're in position number 4 on the racetrack as our 4 championship drivers inside the top 4 on the racetrack right now. So our top 4 in the top 4 right now battling for this championship. So it looks like Christopher DeWald and John McNeil hanging out a little bit farther back here as they are battling here for the 5th position, but they are not in that championship hunt. As you see, the 82 get very loose there out of corner number 2. He has to unfortunately check up ever so slightly, catch that ride, and as he does, he loses a ton of momentum, and that allows John McNeil to make that pass and move the McNeil Media number 48 ride into position number 5 on the racetrack. Now we do see Christian Delgado working himself around the 75 ride of William McKellar. So McKellar now going to slide into that 4th position out of our championship 4 drivers here at the front of the field. Christian Delgado gonna move up another spot after starting at the back of the pack in that 6th position. He's now up and into position number 3 and looking to try to run down and hunt down our top 2 here on the racetrack. And as out in front, it's still Sean Jensick. Jensick still leading the way, showing these drivers how to get it done here in this championship race. Buttcrack Motorsports says, now that I got all 4 of them in there, let's go McKellar. Bring it home, baby. He says bring it home, hoping to see McKellar pick up the championship here this afternoon. Can McKellar, all the way back in position number 4, and throughout this race, can he make the right moves? Can he make the right strategy calls and try to put this Voltec Robco Fallout New Vegas number 75 ride up and into victory lane? Can he find his way to victory lane and pick up the championship? But he doesn't quite have to win this race. If a driver like John McNeil or Christopher DeWald end up winning this race, that's fine. They can win the race. It's basically down to whoever finishes in front of one of the 3 of the other championship 4 drivers. It's all you gotta do. It's all you gotta worry about. It's probably gonna be a race for the win. We do see Jensick and O'Barry in our top 4 currently right now is our top 4 drivers for the championship. The only 4 that can compete for the championship here this afternoon are running 1, 2, and 3, and 4 out there on the racetrack. So this could be a battle not only for the win, but also for the championship. But if McNeil or DeWald find their way into victory lane, it basically comes down to whoever can finish in front of the other 3 competitors here for this championship race, the exact same way that NASCAR does it. So it's going to be very exciting. It's going to be very interesting to see, how these drivers kind of handle the changes of the racetrack, handle the changes with the cars, and continue to see, rubber being built up out here onto the speedways. They continue to run more laps. The sun slowly but surely starting to sink back down there behind, corner 3 and 4, and this racetrack will cool off a little bit, and it's going to make this race, that much more intense, that much more interesting to see really how these drivers can, attack not only each other out there on the racetrack, but try to attack the way that the racetrack is changing, how their cars are changing, and who can stay ahead of that curve and keep making the right decisions and make their car better and better and better every single time down pit road. And we're going to see these guys at least a couple times down pit road here in this one. 150 laps of racing action. It's a long time all around this beautiful, beautiful speedway, and we're going to see some crazy racing all night long here from Phoenix Raceway this afternoon. As Jensick continues to lead the way, Greg O'Barry there in 2nd, Christian Delgado hanging on to 3rd, and McKellar back there in position number 4. But a second back, we do see that 48 ride, the Arizona McNeil Media number 48 there in that 5th position. position, and Christopher DeWalt back there in position number 6. But it's all Sean Jensick. Here in this one, Jensick out in front showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. Yo, Eric coming in showing the love. How are you, brother? Eric coming in smashing that heart reaction again. Shout out to my boy Kevin Winker as well with that heart reaction over there on Facebook. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, if you haven't already, make sure you guys jump in and smash that thumbs up, hit that share, hit that follow button as we see these drivers duke it out here this afternoon for some great racing action, some amazing racing here throughout the evening. It's going to be a ton of fun, going to be very, very wild to watch these drivers right down to the very end, as I have a sneaky suspicion, just like we saw last week, even though we had lower car counts where it's, it's quality over quantity, and, having a lower car count, but we saw these drivers really duking it out there at the end. We saw our top two, the number 71 of Grango Berry, the 13 one of Christian Delgado, lap after lap after lap. They were glued right there to each other, and I think we're going to see a lot of that here this afternoon. I don't think we're going to see, absolutely enormous leads being built up or anything else, where I think it's going to become a very, very interesting race, especially when these drivers have to start to make some green flag pit stops out there on the racetrack. And talking about our championship 4, you look at a driver like Sean Jensick, he started off fairly decent in the series. We saw him slowly but surely start to find his way into victory lane throughout the middle of the season, picked up a slew of dubs, and here throughout the playoffs has earned his way, into the round after round after round, picking up a few wins as well. And then we saw Grango Berry, throughout the beginning of the season, dominance throughout the start of this one, man. And then we see him, slowly but surely fade off a little bit, struggled a little bit there throughout that middle portion, but starts to come in and starts to, pick it up come playoff time. He starts to get those good finishes again, a couple more wins, and especially last week, the win that he was able to pull off to earn his ticket in. He came in, it was looking pretty bleak. He missed the second race in that final round. In that third round, he missed the second race, and then put him multiple points down behind the cut line, and basically he had to win that race to move on into this next round, or else Zach Lockett would have snagged that fourth and final playoff spot here for the championship race. And look, he was able to go out there, man, run a solid performance. He had Christian Delgado on his back bumper for multiple laps, didn't really make too many mistakes, was able to hold that 13 right off, and he was able to pick up a dub and lock himself in to this championship race. And you see him trying to use it to his full advantage, but here in this one, he can't hold off that 13 right as quickly Christian Delgado slides in front of him, and Delgado now into position number 2 on the racetrack. So Grango Berry may be struggling a little bit here. This is what we're really going to see throughout this race is, who's got the best car, especially longer runs out here on the racetrack. Right now it seems like Delgado starting to come on stronger and stronger and stronger throughout this race. We've seen him do that time and time again. That's how we've seen him pick up quite a few wins in the series, is being patient, biding his time, and slowly but surely letting the track, the tires, and everything kind of come to him. And then he starts to really roll that speedway, picking these drivers off that they're a little stronger on their tires early in the race. But lately it's been a lot of great racing from Sean Jensick. So I think Jensick's going to be a tough cookie to beat, but Christian Delgado looks like he's got the car to win it here this afternoon, especially if this is a long run race. Short run, I don't know, that 71 looked pretty fast. Same with McKellar as well as our top 4 here for the championship 4, all at the front of the field here, and it's going to be right down to the wire. As Buttcrack Motorsports says, Aaron, brother, I want to be the first one to thank you for broadcasting SSR's races all season long. It was a long-ass season, and we had our ups and downs, but we finally made it to the end. He says, you're the best brother, broadcaster of the year award goes to Peacemaker Gaming. Listen, brother, if there was an award for it, definitely sign me up. If there was a real-life award for it, I don't know if there is or not, but if there's a streamer award for the best broadcaster, absolutely throw my name into the ring as my boy Justin Young, Jake, coming in, show the love. What's good, Justin? Jay Younger coming in, show the big love here in this one. What's good, Justin coming in, says hello, race fans. Hello, Mr. Young. How are you this afternoon? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful day as well. And we know we saw you in there watching and cheering on drivers there during our mini stock race. But now tuning in, showing the love here in this one as we do see that 75 ride of William McKellar now catching up here to Grango Berry. We talked about that short run speed. We talked about the long run speed. And here you go. Grango Berry seems like he's struggling ever so slightly out here on the racetrack is the 75 ride right there. But we do see the caution flag fly. So our first caution flag here of the afternoon. Looks like the 48 ride going to run into some issues here as McNeil down low, just kind of on the apron, gets back onto the throttle. Unfortunately, that car just loops around and goes for a quick little loop-de-loop. And here comes the 82 ride of Christopher DeWalden with him being spun and stumped there on the bottom side of the racetrack. And Christopher coming right at him there. The caution flag will be displayed. So, tough break right there for the 48. Let's see if we can jump on board with him here and see what we can see from the helmet cam of this 48 ride as he heads down into quarter number 1. And trying to roll the middle here, back onto the throttle, out of the corner, and not even hard onto the throttle, honestly. That car just stamps out and around on him, and a tough break right there. Luckily enough, he misses the sand barrels there. Our NASCAR official pace car could not do that here throughout last Sunday's race in the NASCAR Cup Series race. So a tough break for them in the real-life NASCAR race, having to wait for the pace car and all the cleanup there and everything else. But here in this one, he's able to avoid it. Our pace car will definitely avoid it. We won't see those sand barrels get ran over by the pace car here this afternoon on the simulator as McNeil now shown as the race leader here. We'll have to wait and see where they score everyone and line everybody up here when we go back to green flag racing. Christopher DeWald currently scored in position number 2. Sean Jensick, Christian Delgado, William McKellar, Grango Berry, our top 4. Back here in that 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th position on the racetrack as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. As Buttcrack says, of course, McNeil spins himself out. Laugh out loud. How many more times tonight does he do that? Laugh out loud. That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I'm gonna say, what are we on here? Lap 25. Oh no. I think you'll get the hang of it. I think you'll get good for a little while there. I think he's going to be A-okay for a little while. And probably 2 more times. Maybe 3. I don't know. That's a close call. That's a close call. Hopefully 0. Hopefully 0. But you just never know. And we still got a long ways left to go here in this one. Over 120 laps left of racing action. But you do see the official iRacing pace truck head back down pit side. And we get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one. As Justin says, big facts, Buttcrack. Big facts. Big facts. Yes, Sirski. It's a big facts. It's so big, even UPS can't handle it, okay? That's what I was thinking. I was thinking 2 more, so good call. Yep, I think that's an accurate call. That's an accurate call, but you just never know. You just never know. It could be 6 more times. It could be 7 more times. It could be every 25 laps. Who knows? It could be right now. Is there some contact? He goes around, nowhere to go. Oh, Grango Berry upside down. One of our championship 4 drivers now on his lid here in corner 1 and 2. His cautions breed cautions, and there you go. Our first casualty here this afternoon for our championship 4 drivers. Heartbreaker there for Grango Berry. He's going to have to take his car down pit side as he's got some heavy damage there on that thing. As you just see the 19 ride gets in here, whole head of steam. Got the fresh tires, got that fresh car. Unfortunately, comes in here, gets a part of the back bumper right there, jacks up that McNeil media ride. He slides here, and unfortunately, as he's sliding, nowhere to go for the 82 ride. Piles right into the driver's side door. They both wash up the racetrack, and nowhere to go for the Liberty University Liberty Flame 71 ride of Grango Berry. And after that contact goes upside down and ends up onto his lid here and sliding down through corner 1 and 2. This is never a spot you want to be, especially if you're part of the championship, looking to try to be the champion here in 2024 and potentially having your season up in limbo. After that one, early on in this race, we'll have to wait and see if he can battle back from that one. But let's jump on board here with this number 71 Ryan. See what he can see from the cockpit. There's the contact. Car spinning. He tries to get up and out of the way. Unfortunately, not a whole lot of time to decipher where you want to go. And fortunately, could not make the right call in the right amount of time. And he ends up on his lid. Let's play this back again and take another look at it. As it happens that quick, ladies and gentlemen. There's not a whole lot of time to decipher where to go or how to avoid it. Once you kind of send it into the corner, you're already set here. You're not planning on having to, slam on the brakes or cut up or down the racetrack. And unfortunately for Greg O'Berry, he's going to have to take that car back down pit road, and he may be down there for an extended period of time. As out in front, it's Christian Delgado with the race lead. Willie McKellar now in second. Sean Jensick scored in that third position, as here comes Sean McNeil and Christopher DeWall back out onto the racetrack here. Actually, we do see Christopher DeWall roll back out. We haven't seen McNeil roll onto the speedway yet, and Greg O'Berry still down pit side here in the 71 ride, still getting repairs done. The crew still going to work, trying to get this car fixed up and back out there onto the racetrack. As Justin says, F ouch, wild timing. Wild timing is correct in that one. Definitely some wild timing. This was a lot like our race last week, was it not? I feel like this is shaping up to be almost exactly like we saw last week at Martinsville. It's caught up in his teammates' junk. Such a shame. Such a shame. That's a tough one. Thanks, Ron. At least I'd be less than you. True that. True that. The drama. It builds here in this one as Christian Delgado gets ready to go back to green flag racing down through the Geico restart zone. He will see that green flag fly in quickly back onto the lap pedal here at Phoenix Raceway, down through the dog leg and into corner number 1. Here comes Sean Jensick trying to tee up that 13 ride, see if he can try to make it 2 for 2 down here into corner number 1. This time cannot get to the back bumper of that 13 ride, as I thought he was going bowling here this afternoon, but it's Christian Delgado able to hang on to the race lead. Jensick there in second. McKellar back here in position number 3. Christopher DeWall there in 4th. John McNeil back there in that 5th position. Unfortunately, still heavy damage there for the 48, and heavy damage here for Greg O'Berry, is potentially one of our first championship 4 drivers out of this race here this afternoon. As Christian Delgado out in front here in this one, looking to try to pick up the championship, looking to see if he can put the Sim Motion ride up and into victory lane and being crowned our first and only season as the champion here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. As these drivers duke it out in battle here in this one, as Sean Jensick there in second, trying to hunt him down. See it with William McKellar, as our 3 drivers left here in the championship hunt right now are currently scored 1, 2, and 3 on this speedway. You do see quite a little bit of front right damage there for the 75 as well. Let's take a look here at the front end of the 75 right. We see a little bit of damage. I'm not sure if he got contact there from that wreck or not. There, it's just disappeared. Okay, never mind. That damage has fixed itself out there on the racetrack. It was just playing with us, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if there was any damage here to the front end of the 19 right. It looks perfectly clean here after the contact down there into corner number 1 between him and that 48 ride of John McNeil to bring out that second caution flag of the day. Is out in front is Christian Delgado. Delgado continuing to lead the way here in this one. Sean Jensick there in second. Willie McKellar back there in the 3rd spot. Then we see DeWall back here in position number 4 and looking for more as Jensick slides back here to that 3rd spot on the racetrack. The 75 ride of William McKellar now into position number 2. So our early race leader, unfortunately, sliding backwards here in this one, and unfortunately now finds himself here in that third spot on the speedway, but maybe playing a little strategy here. He saw how the tires were very important early on in this race. That first run that we had for the first 25 laps or so really showed these drivers' hands and what their game plan was, how they were attacking this race, and now trying to hope for a long green flag run and hoping to see a lot of laps laid down right now. It may be a smart idea to just try to take it easy, keep the tires underneath of you, trying to save them here for later in the run, and then pounce and try to work all that track position back and maybe end up with a race lead and pull away with a big win and potentially a championship here this afternoon if you can time things right out there on the speedways. Christian Delgado out in front, continuing to stretch that lead between himself and the 75 of William McKellar here on the racetrack. As we get closer and closer here, we do see Christopher DeWald, unfortunately, now down pit side here as well in the 82. Let's take a look and see what happened. The Liberty University 82 ride down through corner 3 and out of 4. Looks like he's just going to pull it down onto the apron, lock up these tires, and he's going to take that car down pit side. A tough break right there for Christopher DeWald, as I do believe, unofficially here, we do see the 82 and the 71. Both of these drivers have taken their cars off of the racetrack. You do see their pit boxes now also off of the speedway. So I do believe Christopher DeWald and Greg O'Barry out of this race. Unfortunately, no longer out there on the racetrack. As you take a look here, you see that pit box now empty in front of the 48 rider John McNeil, and the pit box behind him also empty, meaning that both of those drivers have unfortunately took themselves out of this race. They are back behind pit wall, and they are out of this one. That means Greg O'Barry unofficially will not be our champion here this afternoon, and we are down to a 3-cat race here in this one, unless we see John McNeil come back out onto the racetrack. As out in front, Christian Delgado and Sean Jensick. Jensick has worked himself back around McKellar here as they battled there for the second spot. They're both still trying to reel in that 13 of Christian Delgado here at the front of the field. As man, this has been a bit of a wild race, as it was almost identical to our race last week at Martinsville, man. What did we see last week at Martinsville? 6 drivers started the race. An early race wreck where we saw a few drivers get collected in it. We saw one driver instantly out. That was Zach Lockett, who came out of the race and did not come back out after that early caution flag that unfortunately John McNeil was also a part of. McNeil again tied up in this one. He's also down pit side. Last week we saw him go about 40 laps down, came back out onto the racetrack, finished off that race. Unfortunately could not gain any positions as he was so many laps down, but we saw basically a 3-car battle right down to the end. Just swap out Sean Jensick, add in Greg O'Barry for last week, and it's almost the exact same thing that we saw. Now we just need second and third to quit battling, and first and second to start battling again. And it's an identical race here this afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. But we do have a 3-car race here this afternoon from Phoenix Raceway for our championship. 3 drivers left, 3 drivers duking it out here, seeing who can pick up the payday here this afternoon. Who can take the pride, the joy, and all the hard work from race after race after race here this season. Cash it all in here this afternoon. Who can work their way to the front of the field late in this race after 150 laps of racing action and pick up the win and pick up the championship here this afternoon? We will find out here in a little bit as these drivers continue to battle, continue to click these laps off as we get closer and closer to the checkered flag. This is going to be a wild one. This is going to be interesting, to say the least. It's going to be very, very interesting, to say the least. A 3-car fight, and you can really get to see some good green flag laps here at Phoenix Raceway, and maybe see a fuel strategy run, maybe a tire strategy play late in this race pay off and put one of these drivers up and into victory lane. So it could come right down to the wire. It could come down to that final pit stop. The final couple laps could come down to that final lap or the final corner here this afternoon. soon to decipher who will pick up the championship here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. This is their championship night after 36 races, including their Daytona shootouts, the LA Coliseum earlier in the season, as two earlier races basically here, and then we also threw in the All-Star race. So we're really looking at about 37, 38 races here. We've been going since February, mid-February, all the way now to mid-November. I don't even know, what is that, 9 months, 10 months, something crazy like that we've been duking out, battling here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. We've seen so many drivers come and go, and it comes down to this here at the end. It's going to come right down to the wire. It's going to be very, very interesting, and it's going to be fun to see what these cats can do and what they will do out there on the racetrack to finish this one out, as you do see them all hanging right there with each other, really not making up any ground for the 13 ride. Hasn't been able to pull away, hasn't been able to open up a huge lead. We see McKellar and the 19 ride basically right here, a car length or so between each other for that second spot on the speedway, and they're actually starting to close in on that 13 ride. They're actually starting to reel him in, so we may have a 3-car fight here at the front of the field for this one. As down across the line, we will see lap number 50 up onto the board, and that means we are 1/3 of the way through our season finale race here at Phoenix Raceway, and we're going to jump into a quick Peacemaker game and crank it up. So crank up that volume and cheer on your favorite driver as we crank it up here on Peacemaker Gaming. Alrighty, as these drivers give us a great look here around Phoenix Raceway here on our championship night. And out in front, it is Christian Delgado. Christian continues to lead the way. He's got this number 13 ride at the front of the field and continuing to open up that lead more and more out there on the racetrack as we get closer and closer to crowning our champion here this afternoon. Is my boy Cody DeForge. Cody coming in, showing the big love here in this one with the like on the broadcast. He says, was there a wreck? There was a wreck. There was a wreck, Cody. There was a wreck. Unfortunately, took out a couple drivers early in this race. Unfortunately, we were already down to only a couple drivers in this race. We'll take a look back at what happened here at the caution flag, as unfortunately, we're going to see the 19 ride of Sean Jensen get in here a little too deep. Unfortunately, gets into the back end of the 48 ride on an early race restart. Around goes this 48 ride. Nowhere to go for Christopher DeWald, and unfortunately Greg O'Berry, one of our championship 4 drivers, ends up hard into the outside fence and upside down, and that's what unfortunately took Greg O'Berry out of this race. As out in front we see Christian Delgado continuing to lead the way. Sean Jensick now in second, and now we see William McKellar also down on pit road. A tough break here for McKellar, now down pit side. I'm not sure if this is a scheduled pit stop or if we may see him down here for an extended period of time. We did see John McNeil down pit road for quite a little while, and he is about 27 laps down as of right now. And now with Willie McKellar, one of our other championship 4 drivers, down pit side here. He's been down pit road for a couple laps now, and I haven't seen this car get jacked up or anything. Let's see if we can play this back and see if we can get a good look here at what may have happened to the 75 ride. Definitely some heavy front end damage here, so I'm assuming he ran into some issues, and there it is. Looks like out of corner number 2, down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's going to lose the rear end. He tries to save it. Unfortunately, gets hard up into the outside fence and then hard down into the inside fence. Heavy damage here all over the front end for this 75 ride of Willie McKellar. The Fallout New Vegas ride. Heavy contact there on both sides of the front end. And unfortunately, that's what has him down pit side here for an extended period of time. So a heartbreaker there for another one of our championship drivers, another one of our championship hopefuls here this afternoon. Good to see McNeil back out there as Mr. John McNeil jumps back out onto the racetrack. He's able to leapfrog Christopher DeWald here as DeWald unfortunately took himself out of this race shortly after that caution flag, our second caution flag of the race there. And unfortunately, him and Greg O'Berry both out of this race. They're both down behind pit wall and out of this one. McNeil continuing to battle. McKellar down pit side, hoping to get this car repaired and back out there onto the racetrack. Unfortunately, his championship hopes are fading in a quick hurry, going multiple laps down here as Christian Delgado down across the line will click off another lap and unfortunately put McKellar another lap down. Sean Jensick currently in position number 2. He's about 7 seconds back here of our race leader as Christian Delgado starting to pull away with this one, looking to try to put himself up and into victory lane as he says, oh wow, yeah, that was a big oh wow moment right there. And unfortunately, a lot of drivers getting tore up and tied up here this afternoon, and a lot of drivers running into issues out there on the racetrack as and some tough locks, some tough breaks out there. And man, it's been crazy. It's been wild watching all these drivers run into issues and have problems out there on the racetrack as unfortunately a lot of cats running into issues here in this one, and we're down to a couple pony race here in this one as McKellar wrecked himself. Yeah, we saw that. He unfortunately wrecked himself right there, and Greg says at least he showed up tonight. Hey, that's all that matters. He did show up. Let's get Greg. How are you, brother? Tough one here in this one, brother. Tough one here all the way around. Tough one for the drivers. Tough one here for the broadcaster. Tough one here for the viewers. And unfortunately, this race is going to be a tough one here. We might better just call it early here, honestly. Why don't we just call this a 100-lap race and call it close? We're just over halfway here in this race. We still got about half of this race left to go. And out in front, Delgado leads the way here. He is out in front. He's showing these drivers how to get it done here in this one. But he's got about an 11, almost 12-second lead now between himself and Sean Jensic about to come down pit side. So Jensic making a green flag pit stop here himself. Does look like he's got a little bit of right front damage here on that number 19. Right, let's take a look back, see if he has gotten this in the last couple laps. Yeah, right there. Looks like he gets too hard down into corner number 3. And the rear end kind of kicks out around there a little bit. He washes up into the outside fence. Actually had a little damage already, but that's going to give him even more damage. And now Sean Jensic down on pit road here. Let's see if he's down here for an extended period of time or if they can get this car back out there in a quick hurry as he hits his pit box. Crew's going to go to work. They're going to jack him up. They're going to get ready to try to get him back out there onto the speedway as the only driver on the lead lap is we also see John McNeil come down pit side. So the only driver left out there on the speedway continuing to race as Buckeye says, yeah, I got no reason to be out there. Unfortunately, right now, the only driver that's got a reason to be out there looking to, put a big lead down, a big whooping here on everybody as we do see Jensic down pit side here for an extended period of time as well. We did see McKellar's car just get refreshed and just came back to life here. So that car is back to one piece, and we'll see if he rolls back out here onto the speedway as Jensic still down pit side. Here comes John McNeil, so our second driver to roll back out onto the racetrack here is Christian Delgado out in front and very big lead now here in this one. He was stretching out that lead. He was continuing to pull away as according to Forge says, why is the 19 losing so much ground? He definitely had some damage there in that one. Yeah, 13 winner by default. I think that may be the best call here tonight in this one. I don't know about you guys, but I'm assuming that that's how this one's going to turn out. That's how I think this one is going to end up here this afternoon. It just shows me that they're down pit side. I don't even know how many laps down now Jensic is or McNeil are, but they are still down on pit lane, and I can only assume that they are, multiple laps down. McNeil 29 laps down here with DeWald and O'Barry both out of this race already. So we got two cars on the racetrack, and one of them is unfortunately 29 laps down, and he's potentially going to go about 30 laps down right there as there goes our race leader. So unfortunately there, McNeil going to go another lap down, and we are down to one-horse race here this afternoon for the championship. One-horse race here this evening, and it's Christian Delgado. I'm assuming he's going to pick up the championship here this year, as this is definitely an interesting one. This is definitely an interesting one. Definitely going to be excited to see how this one finishes, as I do think we see there's McKellar back out onto the racetrack. So Willie McKellar jumps back out here, but this car still showing me that he's got a ton of damage here on the 75 ride. We'll have to keep an eye on this. I thought that thing got repaired down pit side, but maybe not. Maybe they just fixed part of it and not the rest of it here. So he's still slow on the racetrack, and we're going to see him actually work his way back down pit lane here. So this is interesting. Looks like more damage and more issues here for the 75 ride. We thought we were going to have him out there for... Oh, and he hits the sand barrels. Oh, no. It's gotten worse for Mr. McKellar out there on the racetrack. Race is being called. Delgado is the winner. All right, let's go. We loved it. We love it. We love it. I go to bed early tonight. I was tired. But yeah, race is being called. Delgado is the winner. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad idea here. Is there an official way you guys can finish the race here? As there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, our race winner and our champion here of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series here this year. Man, what a run, what a race, what a season it actually has been for Christian Delgado, man. We've seen him win a lot of races, a lot of great solid finishes up inside the top, the top 3, the top 2, the winner circle so many times here, man. So many great top 5 runs, top 5 finishes here for Christian Delgado, and we've seen him have some bad breaks out there as well. We've seen him have his fair share of issues out there on the racetrack, but the consistency out of that 13 ride, week after week after week, man, has been absolutely amazing to watch. And no better deserving winner and champion here this year than Christian Delgado. Sean Jensick is going to come home in the second spot here. McKellar going to come home in third. And then McNeil coming home there in fourth. DeWald in fifth. And Greg Barry, who will finish this race, scored in the 6th position, but will be our 4th place driver in the point standings here, our 4th out of 4 drivers here in this championship race. But it is Christian Delgado who picks up the win and picks up the championship here this afternoon, and he's gonna burn it down, ladies and gentlemen. Boys and girls, give it up for him here in this one. Last driver standing. 100% the last driver standing. That is too accurate. That is too accurate. He was clearly the last driver standing here this afternoon. The last driver standing in the last race of the season. And it comes down to the 13 ride of Christian Delgado picking up this championship. Now he's going to burn down the house after 36 regular season and playoff races. It comes down here to our championship race at Phoenix Raceway, and he's able to get the win and get that championship. We're going to get ready to pull him up here into the broadcast booth for his post-race interview here in this one. Hey, Christian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy? Hey, Christian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. They get a copy? Don't know why I don't hear him. Still celebrating. Let's try this again here. Let's pull him back in. Hey, Christian, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy? Hey, Christian, you got a copy? I don't know if you can hear me, but I cannot hear you. All right, well, Christian is AFK here, our race winner and champion here. We'll get ready to pull him in just a quick minute here. We do have William McKellar sitting down patiently pit side. Let's pull McKellar in here in this one. Let's pull the 75 right up. Hey, William, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker broadcasting booth. To get a copy?
I got you. You got me?
Yes, Sirski. William, man, a crazy season. Some crazy races, some crazy runs, and it comes all down here to Phoenix Raceway. And unfortunately, some issues, low car count. This one gets called a little bit early, but you're able to finish it off as officially our 3rd place driver here this afternoon and our 3rd place in the points after what was a very up and down season and a lot of drivers coming and going and so many different races, man. Take us back through not only this race, but take us back through this year, man. And how does it feel to be at least able to finish off the season knowing that you were a part of this championship battle right down to the very end and part of this championship for here this afternoon?
Honestly, I was surprised to even make the championship 4. When this season started, I think I found every single wreck one could find in the first 6 races, and I was running, sub 30th in points. So to come back and, make it into I do believe I was inside the top 16 in points, and then win in Daytona to make sure that I got in the playoffs. That felt really good. I want to say that if I had taken it tonight, it probably would have been the comeback story of the league. I definitely learned a lot really racing these guys. I know that once I joined Red Sea with Greg O'Berry and those guys, Greg is fast. I mean, coming into tonight, was it Championship 2? I think it was Championship 2 when Joey Logano was the and me for the big three in me. And that's certainly how I felt coming into this. I learned a lot running with Greg, watching Christian, watching Sean. So it was nice to be able to get into this with the three best guys we had in the league. And, that feels fantastic, but, I'm going home pretty disappointed tonight. I was noticing that on that first stint, that very first stint that we did, in the long run, I was faster than all of them. And I'm like, oh, okay, so, we're going to go into lap 60, and, by that time, I'll have at least caught the leaders. I might be able to make something happen. And then there on that second stint, Sean just didn't look like he had the car under him after that contact with McNeil. And then, once I got around him, I was pulling Delgado in a tenth, 2/10, and then I'd match him. And then I'd go back to a tenth, 2/10. I'm like, man, I can catch Delgado. And then, I got greedy coming out of 2 and just broke the car. So disappointed mainly in myself. I think Christian and I could have really raced it out, but he earned it. He was definitely the man to beat tonight. And man, I wish I could have had the opportunity to beat him.
Yeah, absolutely. It sucks that the race got called short, but so much damage there on your own car and so much damage there for Sean Jensick. And obviously having McNeil being 30 laps down, it was a one-horse race out there to finish off this one. And it would have been no fun for you guys, would have been no fun for Christian, would have been no fun for the fans at the stands here to just watch him run the final, 60, 70 laps of this race by himself out there. So unfortunately called it early, but man, the season, altogether for a lot of it was a lot of ups and downs for everybody. We saw so many drivers come and go and everything else, but man, it was a lot of fun, man. You're up in the booth for now 37 races when you include the All-Star race, man, it was a blast. It was a lot of fun getting to watch you guys week after week after week duke it out, and to be able to watch, for the most part, you and Christian, showing up week after week. I know Greg missed a few races here and there, and Sean was gone for a little while there, it seemed like, but he was still able to come in, race a couple of these playoff races, and win his way in through each round and be a part of this one. But man, it truly came down to those drivers like yourself and Christian here this afternoon that show up week after week after week and continue to race and battle and earn those points and grind out the season. That really made this all worth it.
I really think so. It was a fight all season, and I enjoyed the grind. I missed 2. I think it was 2 races. I think I missed 2 total races. One, I was serving a suspension from Auto Club. I knew my car at Auto Club was broken. I knew I should have parked it, and I didn't park it. And I think I wiped out 3 or 4 of the leaders. And I'm to like 1st through 4th, I think is who I wiped out. And the second race I missed, Kansas, the first time. I missed because my son was born. So it was nice. I really enjoyed the grind going through all 36 races, right along with the Cup Series. I learned a lot about running these tracks from watching the Cup guys run them, and then running practice with everybody. I think out of this, I think as an iRacer, I've gotten better. I've started, for the longest time, I'm like, I'm not going to touch ranked. Ranked sucks. And now I'm like, well, running against these guys with 2,000 more iRating than me, folks who are always going to be in a split or 2 above myself. I'm like, I'm keeping up with these guys. Maybe I need to get back into rank. So it's given me the confidence to actually get back in, to invest time into iRacing and actually see how good I can actually be. So I think SSR has been fantastic. The season's been fantastic. Your broadcasting has been fantastic. I think overall I got a lot out of this, and I'm sad to see it go, but all good things must come to an end, I suppose.
Absolutely, brother. All good things must come to an end, but I'm glad to hear that you're continuing on with your iRacing career, and after having all these races and battling with all these great competitors, man, you've been able to take every lesson and keep on learning and growing, and that's what we wanted to see here out of the series and out of the league, is to have everyone out here, obviously being competitive and racing hard and having fun at the same time, and then using each other, to learn new things and get faster and get better and drive each other to want to be the best that they can be out here on the simulator. And we've seen that all year with yourself as you've continued to progress and get better and better week after week after week. And as much as I hate to see it go, man, hopefully, we'll see you out here at some more of these other series and everything else, and see you back out there on the racetrack and continue on your iRacing career and continue to see you be able to grow and become, such a good veteran driver out there on the speedway, where maybe you'll be that fast guy that when new guys kind of get in here, they're going to be looking up to you and learning from your experience in your time here on the simulator to try to get faster and better out there on the racetrack.
Hopefully, if you see a metallic blue and Dayglow yellow Fallout car, you know who it is.
Absolutely, brother. I'll never forget it, that's for certain. But, Will, a great run here tonight and a great season here for yourself and that 75 Fallout New Vegas machine. Who would you like to thank for, such a great season and great performances week after week after week here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series?
Well, first, again, I got to thank my wife for letting me do this. She had a garbage day at work. Her mind is fried, but she still, stepped up, took care of the boy, who I think is coming down with a cold. I don't know. My throat's feeling a little scratchy too, so maybe it's both of us. But she's taking care of him, so actually, absolutely got to thank her. Got to thank you. 37 races. You got, or is it 37 or is it 38? Because didn't you call the All-Star race?
I don't think I did the All-Star race or the Daytona duels. I had other broadcasts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, you've been here for every points-paying race, I do believe. So I got to thank you absolutely for broadcasting all these. It's nice to be able to go back and see, the progression of some of us from the absolute trash tier drivers we were at the start to where we made it at the end. So got to thank you for doing the broadcast. Got to thank John Ross, Russ Martin, and Ron Luzy for being the admins that they were keeping this going. And, he hadn't been shouted out in a while, but none of us would have been doing this if John Fowler didn't have the idea, back at the end of last year. So I got to thank John Fowler. The only reason we did this was because he decided he wanted to do something. So thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you, Russ and Ron. And finally, I think I want to thank God himself.
Beautiful. Well, William, a great run, a great season, brother, and hopefully we'll see you back out here in the future on the racetrack and more conversations with you up here in the broadcast booth, and maybe one of these nights we'll see you up here and in Victory Lane.
Yep, have a good one.
Absolutely, you as well. Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, give it up there. Our third place finisher here this afternoon in this race and in our championship points contenders. And Willie McKellar coming home with that third place here this afternoon. Great fella, great driver, great man out here on the speedway. Great father, great husband as well. And we hope nothing but the best for him and hope that we can see him out here racing and competing in some of our other series and some of our other broadcasts that we do, and continue to see him out there on the racetrack and racing here in iRacing. And now we'll get ready to pull in not our second place driver, is our second place finisher here, Sean Jensick. Jensick is he's out of here. He's out of here. I don't know where Jensick is, but I would pull him in here, but he is gone. So that leaves no one else but our race winner here this afternoon and our champion. Now, the number 13 of Christian Delgado. Will get ready to pull Christian up here into the broadcast booth here this afternoon as Delgado is good whenever you're good. Okay, perfect. Thank you, Butt Crack. I appreciate that. Justin Young says, that's crazy, and congratulations to Delgado. Absolutely. Congratulations to Christian Delgado on his championship here this afternoon as we'll get ready to pull him up here into the broadcast booth for it's going to be our final interview here of the final season in the final race of the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. Hey, Christian, it's Aaron up here on the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Taking a copy?
I got you, man.
All right, you finally got me. Let's go. Christian, man, long season, a lot of ups and downs, a lot of tough racing out there on the speedways, and here you are in our final race, our championship 4. You gotta duke it out with 3 other very, very talented drivers here for this championship, and you were putting a whooping on them there for a little bit, but it was more of the survival of the fittest here this afternoon, and going right down to the final car left out there on the racetrack here for the SSR Series, and you're able to be crowned not only as the race winner here at Phoenix Raceway, but also our champion here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, man. How are you feeling right now, knowing that you were able to pick up this championship after 36 races of battle out there, grueling competition week after week after week, and being crowned that champion, man? How does it feel?
It's definitely a surreal feeling, Aaron. I mean, like I said, and like you just said, we've been racing for 36 weeks out here. It seems like some of these guys are like family now. We've been together every week for, almost a year now. And I came in here not really the most confident. You know, Greg came out here and dominated here in the spring. Sean has always been quick here at these shorter tracks. And to be honest, I wasn't the most prepared. And I it still kind of hasn't settled in, I don't think, yet, that what I just did. But it's definitely a really great to see. I mean, I've definitely worked my tail off throughout the whole season trying to get better. I definitely didn't think I was a top 4 driver at the start of the season, but you know, from help from these SimMotion guys and everybody else around me, I've definitely, you know, turned up the heat, especially coming into the playoffs, getting a couple wins here and there. And I mean, we're here in victory lane, and I mean, it feels amazing. I can't believe it.
Absolutely, brother. Well, it is true, and it is an absolutely beautiful thing to see, man. As much as we hate to see the series go, being that one and done season, but being able to watch you know, out here pretty much every single week, man. I don't think you really miss a single race. So you're grinding away and competing week after week after week. You had a lot of ups, a lot of downs out there on the racetracks, but here at the end of the season, you're able to be that driver to pick up the championship, and I wouldn't quite say dominating, but you know, early on we saw Jensic leading the first bit of this race, but we saw you kind of work yourself up through the field, and in regular fashion, like we've seen time and time again here in the series, seems like very, very good on those longer runs. Throughout that first run, you were starting to reel them in, you were starting to pick them off. We saw you get around McKellar there and jump up into about that 3rd spot on the racetrack, and then obviously we see that first caution flag, the second caution flag to follow, and then all of a sudden when we go back to green flag racing, you know, it's a bit of a 3-car fight here at the front of the field, and you guys kind of stayed together for a little while, but you stayed out in front of Jensic and McKellar, and then slowly but surely throughout that run, you just kept pulling away farther and farther and farther from them, and you know, they started to make mistakes and run into issues, and all of a sudden we find both of them down pit side and, you know, having quite heavy damage on both their cars, and it was down to you, last car standing here this afternoon, to pick up this championship.
Yeah, it was definitely an interesting race. Yeah, from 36 racing, if the fans at home can't tell, I'm not a good qualifier. I mean, that's probably the most blatant thing you'll ever see from me. I've never been a good qualifier. And you kind of put it to a T. I really pride on keeping the car clean, keeping the tires underneath me, and driving through the field. But yeah, that's something, you know, I definitely need, especially learning from this league where there's been so many talented drivers to come in and out of this league. It's definitely given me a wake up call that I have to learn how to get a good quality session underway. But started dead last. Just couldn't figure out really the way the car wanted to drive on the track, and then kind of took it easy the first couple parts of the race. We saw Sean go out there and lead a couple laps, and you know, when I figured out that, you know, most of the time at Phoenix, you really get rewarded for attacking the track and, you know, and all that stuff. You see at these short tracks even, and luckily, I guess in real life, you don't see this as much. But, you know, on these short tracks, there's not really a whole lot of tire wear, and you saw today that there was, and I felt like that really played to my advantage. I I really babied this car as much as I could, try not to slide the rears, because I ultimately think that's what led to the demise of the other two that were left of McKellar and Sean. I think they just were pushing a little bit too hard and spinning it out on exit and getting loose. But for me, I was just trying to baby that thing as much as I could on exit to keep it going. I don't think I was pushing as hard, and I think ultimately that's what started to pay off dividends towards the long end of the run. I just really was scared to push the car at all, just because of how I wouldn't say it's slick the track was, but it didn't really feel hooked up to the track. The car never did, so just had to kind of baby it around and hope that they pushed a little bit harder than I did, and obviously we saw that's what happened.
Yeah, absolutely. And as those drivers ran into issues, man, we see down here in the Phoenix Raceway victory lane, picking up the win, picking up the championship. Christian, who's like to thank for not only a great run here this afternoon, man, but who's like to thank for a great run and great performances here in this season?
Well, I guess for the last time, you got to thank these admins. Got to thank. I guess we'll first shout out John Fowler. He's the kind of the godfather, you call it. I mean, put this league together at the start here in February, wanted to do something fun, wanted to run a full-length series league. This is the first time I've ever done anything like this, where we've ran week to week, all year long, and it's, like I said, it's definitely been a blast getting to know all these guys that I've been racing with day in and day out, and, I think we've definitely made a lot of good connections, made some friendships along the way, so definitely got to thank John Fowler for putting this thing together. We wouldn't be here if it wasn't for him. We know he's not really as involved in this as he wants to be or used to be, but wouldn't happen without him putting this thing together. Also have to thank John Ross, Ron Luzzi, and Russell for picking up the pieces and taking the torch and kind of carrying it along to the end of the season here. It is a shame that we're not coming back next season, but like I said, I had a ton of fun racing with all these guys and making connections, making friendships, and just getting better every week here. I got to give a huge shout out to my sponsors, Track Racers, SimMotion. Go use code 802 over at ussimmotion.com. Have them on the car tonight, and wouldn't have anybody else on the car. Just a great group of guys over there, and glad we could get SimMotion their first championship here in the SSR series. Got to give a huge shout out to Steel Car Detailing. Thank you, Titan, for everything you do. Got to give a huge shout out to Bully Dog Coffee Company. Thank you, Patrick, for supporting me. It's basically since the start of my iRacing career. I couldn't do a lot of things without the support of you guys. Shout out to the Bean Team. Thank you, Jeff. He's been in here cheering me on all season. Thank you, Jeff, Soli, Poppy, Matthew, Levi, Peter, Eric Carter, everybody over there on the Bean Team, making me a better person. Also have to give a huge shout out to all the folks over at Wildman Racing and SimMotion Racing. All those people, John Ross, Kenny Real, Leroy, who's come out here and ran a couple races. Jackson Carr came out here and ran for us a couple races. Obviously Ron and Russ, part of Team SimMotion now. We also made got a couple more Team SimMotion guys just from the league, just from building those connections. Got to give a huge shout out once again to the people over at twitch.tv/ChristianBoss13. They're here every week, regardless if I'm running last, running first, wrecked, or anything. They're out here. They're out here, supporting me, doing everything to encourage me to be better, as not only as a driver but as a person. And Aaron, lastly, got to give a huge shout out to you. I mean, I know these last couple of weeks have been kind of a snooze fest, especially for you as a broadcast. As a broadcaster, we ran the truck series. I kneel down to you at these last couple of races. Unfortunately, we didn't even get to run out this whole race just because of the circumstances. So, you did the whole season here for the SimMotion stuff on top of that All-Star race. So, on top of the duels, on top of the clash. So, we all appreciate what you do. Plus, you did those 7 truck races before we stepped in. So we appreciate everything you do here, and we wish we could have you back here, but unfortunately, like we said, we're not coming back. So, for me as another broadcaster, I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to maybe being a part of another league that you're broadcasting. But uh, can't say enough of how much all of us appreciate your work here.
I appreciate that, brother, and I wish nothing but the best for you as well. And the same as I said to William, man, it's been a blessing to be able to watch you guys, man, week after week after week, and watch you guys, not only grow as single drivers or the human beings that you are, and becoming better men in here, and continue to see you guys work together as well, man. Watching all of you guys, as you said, new teams being formed, people joining on teams and becoming closer and closer friends, more like family. And as much as I hate to see it go, there's all good things must come to an end, and unfortunately that is the end of this one here this year and for the SSR League. But hopefully, as I said, man, hopefully we'll see it out here in some more of these other leagues, some of these other races, and seeing maybe battling for more wins and more championships, more opportunities to jump up here into the broadcast booth, brother. And hoping nothing but the best for you, your family, all your loved ones, your crew and your iRacing family, and hopefully just continue to see you grow as a human being in your journey here in broadcasting and iRacing itself.
Yeah, I definitely appreciate it, Aaron. And I guess I forgot one more shout out. Got to give a huge shout out to High Velocity TV, obviously broadcasting the Truck Series. But if you guys looking for a broadcasting league, obviously that isn't Aaron. I don't want to step on his toes. Obviously he does a good job with his stuff. But if you guys are interested in needing a broadcast, whether it's obviously oval predominant, I don't want to do a lot of IMS or anything. But if you guys are looking for any broadcasts, go ahead and email us over at hvtvbroadcasting@aol.com. But yeah, obviously, if we can't get a hold of you, I know Aaron's always booked, but always looking for some more opportunities here. We're very young and growing and trying to expand that the best we can. But once again, I can't believe that we're sitting here in Victory Lane, and wish we could come back and kind of defend this thing, but as you said, Aaron, all good things must come to an end, and I'm glad I can carry the banner for SSR for this one time, and hopefully carry this banner to another league or to other opportunities, and just kind of show, this is what we stand for, and this is what we race for here.
Absolutely, brother. Well, Christian, normally I say don't party too hard down there in Victory Lane at the end of the interviews, at the end of races and everything else, but this being the last race for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series and the last race of the season, picking up that championship and being down there in Victory Lane this time, brother, do party, enjoy the rest of your night, enjoy the rest of your evening, have a couple beers, enjoy the championship, and enjoy all the great times and fun that you had here in this one, man, and we can't wait to see you back out there, and can't thank you enough for being a part of the SSR and being our one and only champion here in the Cup Series here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. And we can't wait to hopefully see you out here back on the racetrack, back up here in the broadcast booth for wins and top threes and great runs, and whatever it is we may see you back in here in, whether it's NASCAR trucks or NASCAR Xfinity or whatever it may be. We hope to see you back out here on the racetrack in the future, and hope to see you right back up here in Victory Lane and maybe running for more championships in some of our future leagues.
Okay, I can't wait, Aaron.
Absolutely, brother. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and as I said, party hard down there in Victory Lane.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aaron.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner and our champion here in this one. 36 regular season races coming to a close here this afternoon in the 13 ride of Christian Delgado. Not only picking up the win here in our season finale from Phoenix Raceway, but picking up the championship here in the Slingshot Sim Racing Series. Man, what a run, what a drive, and what a season it has been. As we said to all these drivers, man, it's been highs and lows. We've seen 50 cars, we've seen 40 cars, we've seen 4 cars out there on the racetrack competing, battling, and racing against each other. And, all good things must come to an end. And unfortunately, SSR coming to an end here this afternoon, but we can't thank you guys enough. All the fans of the stands, everyone coming in, race after race, cheering these drivers on, watching these broadcasts, watching these drivers continue to race and battle out there, whether or not it's, for last place or first place, or whether or not there's 3 cars or 30 cars out there on the racetrack, man. You guys always show up, the Peacemaker fam coming in and always showing the love here in this one. My boy, Dude Guy, coming in, showing the love as well. How are you, Dude Guy? Hopefully you're having yourself a wonderful Wednesday afternoon. And, man, I cannot thank you guys enough. I cannot thank SSR enough, the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, for having me up here as the broadcaster here on this amazing season, this amazing journey, being able to watch all these drivers continue to progress and learn and get better and everything else all season long. And I can't thank for God, for all the friendships and family that we've made along the way. Any of the new followers, subscribers, anything else throughout this one, man, we appreciate each and every single one of you, and we can't wait to see a lot of these guys back out there on the racetrack and back out here beating and banging and battling for wins and battling for championships in the future. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in. Huge shout out not only to obviously John Fowler, John Ross, Russell Martin, Ron Luzzi, all these guys coming in putting on these shows and trying to keep these drivers under control, trying to keep things, flowing here, and trying to get these guys to show up week after week after week, as things have gotten slower over the course of the final few months of this series being so long. And, obviously drivers just losing interest or not having anything to run for after being eliminated from the playoffs or anything else has been definitely tough over the last few weeks. But can't thank them enough for being a part of the show, making everything happen behind the scenes, and having me up here in the broadcast booth. And a huge shout out to all of our amazing sponsors here with the Slingshot Sim Racing Series as well. Scary Strokes being a huge part of that, Butt Crack Motorsports, Anything EC, everybody that's made this happen. All these wheels turn, all these laps ran, all these cautions and accidents and fights and family and friends that have been gained along the way. We cannot thank you enough. Unfortunately, this is the final race here for the Slingshot Sim Racing Series, and we will end it there on that note. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for tuning in, and I will see you guys out here tomorrow night for some more racing action as we head back to the dirt track tomorrow night for some super late model racing. I can't wait to see you guys there. Peace out for now. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen.
In the digital world he shines bright, full send all day and all night, conquering realms with all his might. Peacemaker's here to make it right. Through the controllers battles begun, every click, every move he's won, streaming wisdom under the sun. Victory's anthem just has begun. Peacemaker gaming all day, send it full dose sway. In the virtual lands we play, leading the charge in our own way. Pixels and wires, his domain, glory found in every campaign, shelter from reality strain. With Peacemaker there's no pain. Battles fought in every zone, from his cherries never alone. Full send on the audio tone, Peacemaker's name is known. Eyes on screens, dreams he weaves. In his world you can believe. Through the levels never leave. The magic of gaming we perceive. from reality strain. With Peacemaker, there's no pain. Battles fought in every zone. From his chair, he's never alone. Full send on the audio tone. Peacemaker's name is known. Eyes on screen, streams he weaves. In his world you can believe. Through the levels, never leave. The magic of gaming we perceive. Fought in every zone. From his chair, he's never alone. Full send on the audio tone. Peacemaker's name is known. In the digital world he shines bright. Full send all day and all night. Conquering realms with all his might. Peacemaker's here to make it right. Through the controllers battles begun. Every click, every move he's won. Streaming wisdom under the sun. Victory's anthem just has begun. Peacemaker gaming all day. Send it full dose slay. In the virtual lands we play. Leading the charge in our own way. Pixels and wires, his domain. Glory found in every campaign. Shelter from reality strain. With Peacemaker there's no pain. Battles fought in every zone. From his chair he's never alone. Full send on the audio tone. Peacemaker's name is known. Eyes on screens, dreams he weave. In his world you can't believe. Through the levels, never leave. The magic of